Hi, in this video today I'm going to show you how you can fix numerous faults on your Bosch Tassimo My Way 2. Some will be quite obvious, others maybe not so. So, obvious ones are things like this. If you're trying to put it down and it's not going down, it could be that you've got a pod stuck up here. The pod from before might have been stuck up here and you're trying to put a new one in. So obviously check that's not the case. It could also be because this is slightly misaligned. If this was ever so slightly misaligned like that, you won't be able to close it. So make sure that that's fully home. With this thing, it only comes in and out when it's at a 45-degree angle like that. If you're trying to do it down here, it's not going to work. But yet it can still go out of place without you realizing when it's down here. So if it's not closing properly, make sure that this is in properly. So put it in like so, and make sure it drops nicely like that. Also, if the lid's not closing properly, make sure you haven't done anything silly, like done it like this. If it's like that, that's not going to close. It has to be up like this to allow it to go down and close. You can't close it when it's in that position. So make sure that that is flipped up like that. When it comes to putting your pod in and it not being read properly, this is the little barcode reader here. It reads the barcodes on all the different pods. So the pods will have different barcodes depending on what pod they are. If you have your lights flashing here, it could mean that the barcode reader is dirty. We've cleaned this all in another video. All you've got to do is get a cloth or a Q-tip, a cotton bud, and give it a nice good clean here. If you've got any sort of blockage, coffee will spill onto here and it will get dirty. So you need to clean this every now and then. Now, talking about blockages, we have the injectors here. To release this part here, you can put your finger underneath and press up and it will take this part out. You need to keep this part clean. You can bring this over to the sink and give it a nice good clean. You want to be able to see through that and that. There could be even coffee blockages down in here. So you can get a Q-tip and you can put it in here and make sure that it's clean right the way through. Give it a good clean all the way around here. If you look at this part here, this is where the actual hot water comes out of under pressure through that tiny little bit there. If that's all dirty around here, then this isn't going to seal because that goes against this bit here, and through here the water comes to go into the pod and the coffee comes out here. If that's not sealing properly, then you're going to get a leak of water around this area. So give this area here a nice good clean. That pops back in just like so. Now, if you've got a problem with the lid not being recognised when it's closed, we have a little micro switch just here. If you have a listen. And it's just in here. So make sure that it's clean around this area. If this is completely clogged with coffee or something else obstructing it, you might not be able to close the lid properly. The machine might be not recognising it. If you find that the switch is making a clicking noise, but it's not working even after you do this multiple times, you might want to get some contact cleaner in there or some isopropyl alcohol to try to see if that will clean up that area there. Now, when it comes to the back, you might have an issue where you've got water in here, but it's not actually being recognised as having water in. It could be because it's either not seated properly, because you might have a problem with this little thing here. So this is a little, it's got a little spring in here, and if you press that up, water will come flooding out. That's how it goes into the machine. But we also have a float in here. This float itself can get jammed with scale. If it does, you need to free it up. So we can take the lid off by squeezing here and pressing this in and then taking it out this way. So let me just do that again. So with this one here, press in here, that releases it, pulls out towards you. Then you can take this part out and you can get your hand in here and you can move the float up and down and make sure it's running nice and freely. Maybe you can get a little brush or a pipe cleaner in here if it's got scale and try to clean up around there. If this is stuck in this position down, it doesn't matter how much water you put in here, the machine won't work because it won't see. The float needs to be in this position for the machine to see that it's got water in here. So yeah, make sure that that runs freely up and down. So hopefully, if you do all those things, you might find that whatever problem you've got on your Bosch Tassimo My Way 2 is now solved. If this video has helped you out, give it a thumbs up. If there's anything else that you've done to fix your one, put it down in the comment section below and you'll help other people out who may be watching this video. Thanks for watching.